about themselves, feelings about themselves influence how they're perceived and how they are treated by others in American-born Chinese? Do their attitudes about themselves make them feel better or worse? And does this idea have any connection to the movie Mean Girls?
I said it absolutely does, because the whole idea was like Jin literally transformed into like what his perception was of what's good. So on page 194, he literally turned into a white person because his perception was like white people are better, and like Katie like transformed from like a nice girl from Africa into a mean girl, and she didn't know she was doing it, but she did it, and she transformed based on her perceptions.
That's like exactly what I said too. I said like the most obvious examples are when Jin changes his hair on page 9798 to the blonde, curly, and then also in the beginning when on page 34 when he eats the sandwich instead of the dumplings, like he's changing himself to what like is more American. And then same with Katie, like at first she's the innocent girl from Africa, and then so like she tells people that and that's what people think of her, but then she transforms slowly throughout the movie.
Yeah, and I feel like because they have such a weak self-esteem, I feel like they're not able to like stick up for themselves, and so the bullies, like the people who are being racist, don't have a good understanding of like how what they're doing is so bad.
Yeah, I agree with that, because even on page 33 when Jin had dumplings to school, and then where other people were talking about like his food, about how it has dogs in it and stuff like that, and then when he comes back the next day he has like a sandwich trying to like fit in more of like American food instead of like sticking to who he is and what he likes to eat.
Another example would be on page 229 when Wei Chen is smoking and he's got earrings and a chain on. So I guess he's trying to fit into.
Said characters in ABC were definitely influenced by their emotional feelings and fears that it made them turn on their family and make their friends laugh for them and lose good friendships, like Jin lost Chi on page 191, and change themselves to be different than what they were judged for.
I agree with Takesha, because at the start of the book, when Jin comes into school on page 30, he's nervous and shy, and then I think that relates to how he gets treated, because he's all shy and then nobody wants to approach him because he's all like wants to be alone and stuff. And then I had another example. So when he gets all that confidence for being, when he switches to a new person or gets a new hair, he's all confident and feels really good about himself. And when they're at the movies with Melanie or Amelia, and then he gets that confidence, and he puts an arm around her, and then it's a successful date.
I also say Katie hearing realized she treated her peers wrongly by trying to be someone she wasn't. She felt so bad that it made her be the person she really was and apologize for all her bad doing.
People we have to share.
Does anyone have anything?
Well, for the Monkey King, it talks about how like he was really upset when he wasn't human. So one thing he did to like try to change how others perceived him was he started wearing shoes, and this was shown on page 56. And then that just kind of made him feel a little better about himself and just kind.
Example I had was Wei Chen was kind of different than Jin. He was more self-confident, didn't really care what others thought, and that ended up he got a girlfriend on page 89, and then Jin was all jealous of him. So I think Wei Chen just being himself really helped build another relationship with another person.
I feel like if like the people would have just been like themselves, it would have been like a better outcome. Like Jin, and like Jin would have lost a friend, and like Kitty would have probably like would have like drove like her friend's way. until like the end.
What are some examples like of people doing it maybe at our school or that you've seen that people like change themselves so that they feel better and that people perceive them better? Or maybe are there like examples when people are like stuck being perceived a certain way by people and they can't really change how others see them no matter what they do?
I think one thing that's is shown a lot in our school was, or it was mainly in middle school, I'd say, like guys would go out and buy Tims because like everyone's starting to wear those, and then same for girls, they're all wearing Uggs, or just like other weird trends like the silly string, silly bands, yeah, and just stuff like that.
And I feel like it's in middle school especially, I feel like you have such a need to like want to fit in. I mean, for like me in high school, I found myself and I found like the group of friends that I wanted to be with, just because I feel like there's so much more room. I feel like in middle school there was always like this like standard, and especially like if you had like off-brand Uggs, it was like, oh no, yeah.
We have 7 minutes, guys. We're gonna have like a half hour at the end of this.
I agree with you on that, cause like cause like I feel like so many people like try to fit in, and like try to like find like that friend group that will like accept you, and like personally for me, like I had a friend group through elementary school and middle school, and I left that friend group when I got into high school because they wanted to like change everything about me, and I'm like, that's not happening.
I think I agree with Allison, but on the flip side, there's also people who like try to like completely deviate from the norm, and they try to like completely stand out and just be like as whack as possible or like as different as possible. So I feel like it kind of goes both ways.
I can relate to that because I hated ugliness. They're the most annoying thing I've ever seen. Gross. But I used to wear a lot of boy shoes back in middle school and just like plain t-shirts. Like I still don't wear like leggings till this day. It's just like, I don't know. Not a thing for me.
I know some people that like changed some friend groups and like got different friends because of like the way they changed when they got to high school, and they kind of acted a little bit fake like they did in middle school. Like, cause when I was in middle school, it's kind of like, middle school. When I was in middle school, I switched from a couple of schools, and I used to go to a bigger school, and then moved to like a smaller school where there's literally only like 9 people in my class, and like 9 people in like 8th grade altogether. So like those are like pretty much your friends, that's people you talk to every day and everything. And when they moved over to high school, they kind of changed and like try to fit in with other people, so they talk to me a certain way, and then when they're not at school, they'll like treat me like a friend again. And then so I kind of like understand like the fitting in and how that can change people.
Do you think the size of our high school benefits kind of the transition, like friend group wise, or do you think it is negative?
I think it benefits because like you have so many options. Like if you didn't like your friends in middle school, well, guess what? You have like 3 times more people now. Like you can be friends with anyone.
Yeah, and it can definitely be like stressful because there are so many people, but I think like eventually you'll fall into your friend group.
I agree with Emma because I kind of noticed like in 9th grade, like we all like stuck to like our east like friends, our west friends, our central friends, and then like we never like knew like anybody else like outside of like our middle school like friends until we started like meeting like different people like in classes and stuff.
We can just move on and then we can like write